The Korean Peninsula, jutting out from the Asian mainland, boasts a history as rich and enduring as its ancient mountains. This land, with its rugged terrain and flowing rivers, has been a cradle of civilization for thousands of years. The natural beauty of the peninsula is matched only by the depth of its cultural and historical significance. For millennia, a shared culture flourished, laying the foundation for what would become North and South Korea. The people of this land developed unique traditions, customs, and ways of life that have been passed down through generations. From the bustling markets to the serene temples, every aspect of daily life was imbued with a sense of community and shared purpose. The land witnessed the rise and fall of powerful dynasties, each leaving its mark on the cultural tapestry. The remnants of these ancient kingdoms, from grand palaces to humble dwellings, tell the story of a people who have always been resilient and resourceful. These ruins are not just stones and bricks. They are the echoes of a bygone era, whispering tales of glory and struggle. The Three Kingdoms period, with its fierce rivalries and eventual unification under Silla, is a testament to the dynamic spirit of ancient Korea. This era was marked by intense competition and warfare, but also by remarkable achievements in art, science, and governance. The unification under Silla brought about a period of peace and prosperity, allowing culture and knowledge to flourish. Confucianism, with its emphasis on social harmony and respect for elders, wove its way into the fabric of Korean society. This philosophy shaped the moral and ethical framework of the people, influencing everything from family relationships to statecraft. Confucian scholars were revered, and their teachings became the cornerstone of education and governance. Its influence is evident in the hierarchical structures, the reverence for education, and the importance placed on family ties. In traditional Korean society, the family was the fundamental unit, and each member had a defined role and responsibility. Education was highly valued, and scholars were respected for their knowledge and wisdom. These shared cultural roots run deep, transcending the political divisions that would later split the peninsula in two. Despite the separation, the cultural heritage remains a common thread that binds the people of North and South Korea. Festivals, ceremonies, and traditions continue to be celebrated, preserving the rich legacy of their ancestors. Understanding this shared past is crucial to grasping the complex relationship between North and South Korea. The historical maps and artifacts housed in museums offer a glimpse into the shared journey of these two nations. They remind us that the division is a relatively recent chapter in a long and intertwined history. It is a reminder that despite their differences, they are bound by a common heritage, a shared history that continues to shape their identities. The statues and monuments scattered across the peninsula stand as symbols of unity and resilience. They serve as a testament to the enduring spirit of the Korean people who, despite the challenges, remain connected by their rich cultural heritage. The dawn of the 20th century cast a long shadow over the Korean Peninsula. The serene landscapes and tranquil villages of Korea were soon to be overshadowed by the tumultuous events that would unfold. The early 1900s were a period of significant change and upheaval for Korea, a nation with a rich history and deep cultural roots. Japan, emerging as a regional power, annexed Korea in 1910, marking the beginning of a brutal 35-year occupation. This period was characterized by harsh military rule and the systematic exploitation of Korea's resources. The Japanese sought to integrate Korea into their empire, often through oppressive and violent means. The Japanese sought to erase Korean cultural identity, forcing Koreans to adopt Japanese names and suppressing their language and customs. Schools were mandated to teach in Japanese, and Korean history and culture were systematically erased from the curriculum. Traditional Korean practices were discouraged and the people were coerced into embracing Japanese ways of life. Resistance to Japanese rule was widespread, fueling a burgeoning nationalist movement. Secret societies and underground groups formed dedicated to the cause of Korean independence. These groups organized protests, disseminated anti-Japanese literature, and engaged in acts of sabotage against the occupiers. The spirit of resistance was kept alive through the bravery and determination of countless Koreans. Figures like Kim Il-sung, who would later become the founder of North Korea, cut their teeth in the fight against Japanese imperialism. Young leaders emerged from the shadows, inspired by the dream of a free and independent Korea. They rallied the people, instilling hope and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. World War II brought an end to Japanese occupation but did not bring peace to Korea. The defeat of Japan in 1945 was a moment of jubilation for many Koreans, but it also marked the beginning of a new era of uncertainty and division. The power vacuum left by the Japanese withdrawal created a volatile situation on the peninsula. The peninsula became a pawn in the emerging Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. Both superpowers sought to expand their influence in the region, leading to a tense standoff. The ideological divide between communism and capitalism played out on Korean soil with devastating consequences for the Korean people. In 1945, Korea was divided along the 38th parallel, with Soviet forces occupying the north and US forces in the south. This division was meant to be temporary, but it quickly solidified into a permanent and deeply entrenched boundary. The hopes for a unified Korea were dashed as the two sides entrenched themselves in their respective ideologies. This arbitrary division sowed the seeds of future conflict, splitting families and communities. The barbed wire and military checkpoints that sprang up along the 38th parallel became symbols of the deepening divide. Families were torn apart, with loved ones separated by an impassable barrier. The pain and longing of these divided families became a poignant reminder of the human cost of political conflict. The hope for a unified, independent Korea seemed increasingly distant as the Cold War chill settled over the peninsula. The ideological battle between the North and South intensified, leading to a series of skirmishes and confrontations. The dream of reunification remained alive in the hearts of many Koreans, but the reality of the geopolitical situation made it seem like an ever-receding possibility. The Korean Peninsula, once a land of unity and shared heritage, was now a front line in the global struggle between East and West. On September 9, 1948, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea, was officially proclaimed, with Kim Il-sung as its premier. This marked the beginning of a new era for the northern half of the Korean Peninsula, which had been under Japanese colonial rule for 35 years until the end of World War II. The proclamation was a significant event, symbolizing the birth of a new nation-state that would follow a distinct path from its southern counterpart, South Korea. Emerging from the ashes of Japanese occupation and a divided peninsula, North Korea embarked on a path of socialist reconstruction under Kim's leadership. The country faced numerous challenges, including widespread poverty, a lack of infrastructure, and the need to rebuild a war-torn society. Despite these obstacles, the North Korean government was determined to create a self-sufficient, industrialized nation. The early years were marked by efforts to rebuild the economy, establish a centralized government, and lay the groundwork for future development. Kim, a charismatic figure who had gained prominence during the anti-Japanese struggle, espoused a political ideology known as Juche, which emphasized self-reliance and Korean nationalism. Juche became the guiding principle of North Korea's political and economic policies, promoting the idea that the country should be independent and self-sustaining. This ideology was used to foster a sense of national pride and unity, encouraging the people to work together towards common goals. Kim's leadership and the Juche ideology played a crucial role in shaping the identity and direction of the new nation. The early years of North Korea were characterized by ambitious economic plans aimed at industrializing the largely agrarian society. The government implemented a series of 5-year plans focusing on the development of heavy industries such as steel, coal, and machinery. These efforts were intended to transform North Korea into a modern, industrialized state capable of competing on the global stage. The rapid industrialization process required significant investments in infrastructure, technology, and human resources, and the government mobilized the population to achieve these goals. The Soviet Union, North Korea's main ally and benefactor, provided economic and military aid, helping to lay the foundations for a centrally planned economy. Soviet assistance was crucial in the early stages of North Korea's development, providing the necessary resources and expertise to build factories, power plants, and other essential infrastructure. The close relationship between the two countries also extended to military cooperation, with the Soviet Union supplying weapons, training and support to the North Korean armed forces. This alliance played a significant role in shaping North Korea's political and economic landscape. Land reforms redistributed land from wealthy landowners to peasant farmers, a move aimed at garnering popular support and boosting agricultural production. These reforms were designed to address the deep-seated inequalities in land ownership that had persisted under Japanese rule. By redistributing land, the government sought to empower the rural population and increase agricultural output, which was essential for feeding the growing population and supporting the industrialization efforts. The land reforms were a key component of North Korea's broader strategy to create a more equitable and prosperous society. The Korean Workers' Party, the sole ruling party, consolidated its grip on power, shaping all aspects of political, economic, and social life. The party's dominance ensured that the government's policies and initiatives were implemented effectively and without opposition. The centralized control allowed for the efficient allocation of resources and the coordination of efforts across various sectors. The party also played a crucial role in promoting the Juche ideology and maintaining the cult of personality around Kim Il-sung, which helped to legitimize the regime and secure its hold on power. Education and healthcare were nationalized, with the government investing heavily in these sectors. The goal was to create a well-educated and healthy population that could contribute to the nation's development. The education system was designed to instill the values of Juche and loyalty to the state, while also providing the technical skills needed for industrialization. Healthcare initiatives focused on improving public health and providing access to medical services for all citizens. These investments were seen as essential for building a strong and resilient society capable of achieving the country's ambitious goals. Propaganda, disseminated through state-controlled media, played a crucial role in shaping public opinion and fostering a cult of personality around Kim Il-sung. The government used various forms of media, including newspapers, radio and posters, to promote the achievements of the regime and the virtues of the Juche ideology. The portrayal of Kim as a wise and benevolent leader was central to this propaganda effort, reinforcing his authority and the legitimacy of the government. The constant exposure to state-controlled messaging helped to create a unified and loyal populace committed to the goals of the regime. Kim was portrayed as the father of the nation, a benevolent leader guiding his people towards a brighter future. This image was carefully cultivated through various means, including public speeches, portraits, and state-sponsored events. The portrayal of Kim as a paternal figure helped to foster a sense of trust and loyalty among the population, making it easier for the government to implement its policies and maintain control. The cult of personality around Kim Il-sung became a defining feature of North Korean society, influencing all aspects of life and shaping the nation's identity. This carefully constructed image of Kim Il-sung and the Juche ideology would become deeply ingrained in North Korean society, shaping the country's trajectory for decades to come. The principles of self-reliance and national pride became central to the North Korean identity, influencing the nation's policies and its interactions with the rest of the world. The legacy of Kim Il-sung and the Juche ideology continued to shape the political, economic and social landscape of North Korea long after his death, ensuring that his vision for the country remained a guiding force for future generations.